Today's topic is the principles of extension education. See, whenever we want to disseminate a technology to the farmers, we must have certain principles based on that we must work. We are going to a village and talking with the farmers who are entirely different from us, and we want them or we want to convince them or pursue them to adopt the technology. In that situation, we must have certain basic principles which helps us in disseminating the technology and to develop a rapport with the farmers. Now we will look into that. What are all the principles of extension education, which is very essential while going for dissemination of technology in the rural area. Before actually going for the principle, one must know what is teaching learning process. See here, there are three words. One is teaching, another one is learning, and the third one is a process. The teaching, you know very well that we have undergone lot of teachers or teaching process also. See, teaching is nothing but it is a situation or creation of a situation in which effective learning can take place. So the teacher always creates a situation or creates a condition in which the student used to learn very effectively and very efficiently. Whereas the learning, we are still a learner in our life, that we are learning lot of things in day-to-day activities. The learning is a process by which an individual through one's own effort have an ability to change their behavior by knowing the different factors or getting the knowledge. So the behavioral changes should be in a desirable manner rather than undesirable manner. To have an effective desirable change in a behavior, we must have an efficient and effective learning in a positive way such that they should learn by themselves. See, third concept is a process. Process is nothing but a procedure or something which is occurs in a series of action or continuously until to achieve a desired end or to achieve a success. So when we are telling about a extension teaching, one must follow certain criteria for effective extension teaching. The first thing is it must result in effective learning. Whenever we are teaching to the farmers, our main intention is to achieve the desirable behavior. See, that means we must achieve a successful learning from the farmer. It requires specific and clearly defined teaching objectives. Whenever I am going for extension teaching, one must have a clear objective. That means I should know what is the intention of teaching, whether to change a knowledge or to create awareness or to make them adopt a technology. Based on that objective, one must go for a teaching. And it requires both content and a method. That is nothing but we must have a subject matter and it has to be put it into a practical situation that makes them to learn very efficiently. And we have to create a suitable learning situation where effective teaching can take place and they should feel comfortable in getting the things and understanding the things. And one must evaluate the results very carefully to know that to what extent they could able to learn and to what extent it could able to impart them a knowledge to achieve the desirable behavioral changes. And it must accomplish certain kind of educational changes, and it must look upon as an intentional process. That is nothing but one must have an intention or attention towards a teaching such that they should learn by themselves rather than forcing them to get the information. One must not force the people to accept rather than create an interest or motivate them to learn by themselves. This could be achieved through effective communication. We must deliver the information through adopting effective communication technologies or skills such that they can get it very efficiently and effectively. When we see some of the important elements of learning situation, there are majorly 5 elements of learning. The first one is the teacher, subject matter, physical facility, teaching methods, and the center point is the learner. Learner is the one to whom our teaching takes place, so he occupies the major position in a learning situation. Teacher must know what she has to or he has to teach, and what is the objective of teaching and what is the content. And the subject matter is nothing but a content. It has to be organized in a logical way, should suit to the situation, fulfill the needs, and according to the felt need of the farmer. And the teaching method, I have to adapt a proper teaching method to suit to the end users. They may be literate, illiterate, highly educated, having some basic knowledge about the subject, and they are nil with the basic information. Based on that, I have to adapt it, and available facilities, budget, everything, and my skill in using the teaching method. All these things should be considered while using the teaching methods. And the last one is the physical facilities, means the aeration, the comfortability in sitting and learning. If you make them to sit in a small room, if you make them to sit 100 people, there will be a suffocation, no sitting proper place. They cannot stand for a long and may not be audible. So much of murmuring and noise and distortion of message will take place. So in that situation, learning will going to hamper. So all these four factors has to be considered and should be effective to make the learner learn the things effectively and efficiently. What are the criteria for effective learning? First thing is to have a purpose. Whenever we want to learn something, I must have a purpose. Why I am going to learn it? For example, if a farmer is facing a big problem of choleroga in arecanut, his purpose is to learn some measure to control it. If you won't have that purpose, then the learning will be inefficient. And it must involve appropriate activity by the learners that engages maximum number of sense organs. That is nothing but we must create attention such that they should receive the stimuli from all the sense organs that makes them to take the information very efficiently and effectively, and that help them to retain it for a longer period, and better understanding of the things could also be achieved through this. Must be challenging and satisfying. Whenever we are teaching them something new, it should be a challenging one, and it should satisfy the needs and requirement of the learner. Must results in a functional understanding. That is nothing but functional understanding means theoretically people can understand, but practicability should be taught to them so that they can adapt practically in their situation. If you make the things theoretically understandable and knowledgeable and practically adaptable, then they will going to get it very efficiently and effectively. That make them to understand and use them in their day-to-day life. That helps them to achieve the change, desirable change in their behavior. Now we will see some of the basic principles of extension education. The principle is nothing but a fundamental laws or a rules that has to be followed by an extension worker while disseminating a technology or information to the farmers in a entirely different situation. And the first principle of extension education is principles of needs and interest. Whenever we are disseminating the information to a people, we should be based on needs and interest of the people. See, individuals interest and needs changes varies from their requirement, maybe based on their resources, based on their economical status, from one area to another area, from one place to another place. To be a successful, one must take the consideration of their needs and the interest. Need is nothing but the gap between what is and what ought to be. So in that gap has to be filled, then only they will take it very effectively and efficiently. For example, as I told, if the farmers are suffering from or they could not able to manage choleroga of arecanut, if you are able to give a solution for that, that is what their need, they will adapt it very fastly and take it very effectively and efficiently. Then your dissemination or adoption process could be achieved 100%. And the next principle is the grassroots principle. The grassroots means whenever we are giving a technology to the farmers, it should start from the base or from the local. That means it should consider local groups, local problems, local situation, and the local condition. That means whenever I'm giving a technology to a farmer, it should suit to his situation based on the resources available, based on his position, economical status, his knowledge level, and I have to consider all these things, and based on that the technology has to be given to them, then only they can accept. For example, if I go and tell a small farmer who is having half an acre or a 1 acre of land and tell them to go for a mechanization, that is not at all suitable for him. So at that time I will going to fail in this principle, and farmer will not adapt that technology. And the next one is principle of cultural difference. Culture is nothing but a social heritage. See, the difference will be there with the farmers in their habit, customs, culture, values, beliefs, taboos, everything will be there. So whenever I am recommending a technology to them, I have to consider their culture. For example, I cannot recommend a piggery unit to a Muslim community because they are going to be against them. And I cannot tell a Brahmin to go for a goat rearing or a pig rearing because this is their against their customs. So I have to consider the culture of a people, and based on that, I have to give a technology to them to achieve the higher adaptability. And the next one is principle of participation. To any program to be a successful, the participation of the people are very essential. For example, if we are conducting a college day in our college, the participation of students are very essential to make the college day very successful. Like that, to become an extension program very successful, the cooperation from the people to be there and participation of the people makes the program very successful, and it will going to fulfill the requirement of conducting that program. And the next one is the principle of cultural change. That means the extension education should start with what the learner is having or knowing rather than we are giving something different. And we have to start with what they are having, and we must understand and limitations of their taboos and the cultural values related to each phase of the program. And I should not change it. For example, as I told before only, I cannot give a technology to a farmer which is not acceptable according to their culture, and they are not ready to accept it. And one more thing is, whenever we are going to a village, there is a cultural change between the extension worker and the farmer. The compatibility may not be there, cultural compatibility may not be there, and cultural change may also hamper you to work. At that time, you must have to work according to the culture of them, respect their culture, respect their taboos, beliefs, customs, and you should act according to that. Then only you will be accepted by the people in the rural area, and the technology given by you will be accepted by them very easily. And the next one is principle of learning by doing. That is nothing but the people can learn the things by doing it. So we must encourage the farmers to learn the new things by doing it. For example, I can say them the tea budding is a very good technology for achieving the budding technique in a rose. So if I want to go for new saplings, the tea budding has to be done, which is the most accepted technology. I can teach it in a class, but if I make them to learn by doing it practically, they will become very perfect, and the practical knowledge will make them perfect, and they can experience it and they can adapt it very efficiently in their field situation. And the next one is the principle of indigenous knowledge. See, indigenous means the local knowledge which is developed by them and practiced over generation after generation, and which is accepted by the society or the community. This indigenous knowledge developed through generation, and it helps in solving the problem in a specific situation that has to be considered. Being an extension worker, I should not force them to adopt my technology only. If any indigenous technology is available with them, I should make them to accept it and popularize among them such that the problem at that particular situation could be solved. So many things are there, many indigenous technologies are there that has to be encouraged and that has to make popularized among the farming community. And the next one is principle of leadership. See, leaders are the custodians of local thoughts and the action. That means whenever I start my extension program, I must involve the local leaders who acts as one of the path shower for us. As soon as I go to a village, I cannot get the confidence of each and every person in the village being extension worker. So my first approach should be, I should go to a village leader, and through village leader, I can able to contact each and every person. If I am introduced by a local people, then the people will be having more trust and credibility on me rather than going directly and contacting them. For example, instead of going directly to the villagers and asking them, if I go with some contact leaders or the local leaders, if they call and tell, because of that local people, people will accept me and they're going to give me the information and they will going to adopt the technology which is given by them at least for the first time. And the next one is the family principle. That means whatever the technology we are giving, that has to satisfy the requirement and need of a whole family in terms of economically and socially. Whenever we are giving a technology to a farmer, it should not be suitable to the farmers only. It has to suit to the farm women, youths, and also it should fulfill the requirement. For example, if I am introducing a new rice variety in a particular village, which may give them a higher yield, but if the cooking quality is very low, then the farmer may not accept it, because the whatever the paddy they are growing, some part they used to keep for their family feeding. If the cooking quality and the taste which is not fulfilling their requirement, he may not adopt it very immediately. So whenever I am giving a technology that has to fulfill the requirement of whole family, including women, children, youth, and also to a farmer in terms of economically and socially. And the next principle is principle of adaptability. The adaptability means whenever the extension worker is giving a technology, whatever the extension methods he is adopting should be flexible enough, because the local situation varies and local condition and requirement varies from one situation to another situation. At that time, extension worker has to use the extension teaching method which is suitable for the local situation, such that they can accept and adapt the technology immediately and effectively. And the next principle is principle of satisfaction. Satisfaction is very essential. The ultimate result of any work is to get the satisfaction. If a person could not able to get the satisfaction, then the technology will going to fail and they won't adapt it. So the end product of any extension work is to produce a satisfactory result among the people. See, that satisfactory results will enforce them to learning and motivate them to for adapting the technology to improve the cultivation aspects and to get the more returns out of it. And the next one is the principle of evaluation. The principle of evaluation is very, very essential. Whatever the event we are conducting, at last we have to conduct the evaluation of that. Otherwise, we could not able to know whether the technology has been adapted, what are the drawbacks, what is the strong point of my extension teaching methods, are the techniques which I am using, and where is the gap, what step has to be taken for the further improvement will be known with this evaluation. So whenever you are going to adopt any program or the extension method, it is very essential to conduct the evaluation to know the gap and to adopt the improvement, or if any strong point are there which could be used for the future program. And the last principle of the extension teaching is the principle of trained specialist. That is nothing but being extension worker, there is no hard and fast rule that he must know each and everything. So many times the many technologies are coming and many new things are coming, are adding day by day. At that situation, the extension personnel should be empowered, or they have to build the capacity of the extension worker by providing the training on timely basis. So if we train them, and we can make them a specialist. And whenever we go to a village, the farmer has to be trained by the specialist in a particular field. For example, being an extension worker, I may not be knowing in-depth knowledge on pathology or entomology, or maybe on disease, or maybe on a pest, or maybe on a nutritional management. At that time, if I want to train a farmer, I should use a specialist who is specialized in a pest management, disease management, or nutritional management, and I must use them in my training program to impart the knowledge very effectively, and people will also give a credibility to them and acceptance level will be very high. These are the some of the basic principles, and how to create a teaching learning process is very essential to achieve a success in extension program. If any failure in the extension program is mainly due to we could not able to concentrate on all these principles, or some of the principles might have been skipped. So whenever you want to become a good extensionist, or you want to make the technology disseminate 100% and to achieve a desirable behavioral changes to make them to adapt, always follow all these principles. Thank you so much. I hope you got the point.